Introduction: How to increase your motivation. We have two motivations, intrinsic and extrinsic. But only intrinsic motivation has a real benefit on you. By discovering it, you will be able to increase your motivation and accomplish the actions that really matter to you. In this book, you will learn: why does extrinsic motivation destroy intrinsic motivation? What is the difference between 1.0 and 2.0 motivation? Why you need to discover your 3.0 motivation? How to achieve 3.0 motivation? How to increase your 3.0 motivation? Our answers to these questions are easy to understand, simple to implement, and quick to execute. Ready to increase your motivation? Let's go. Why does extrinsic motivation destroy intrinsic motivation? When we are children, we have intrinsic motivation to understand the world around us. But this intrinsic motivation is gradually lost when we are confronted with a world where extrinsic motivation is king. In other words, what motivates us is no longer the realization of an action in itself but only the obtaining of a reward. Moreover, if we are used to having a reward for a given action, then we no longer do that action without the promise of a reward afterwards. What is the difference between motivation 1.0 and motivation 2.0? Motivation 1.0 seeks to satisfy the basic human needs for survival. The search for food, drink, a safe place to sleep, and the desire to reproduce. It is an intrinsic motivation. Motivation 2.0 appeared in the era of industrialization. It is based on extrinsic motivation, that is to say on two incentives that are reward and punishment by a third party. The reward reinforces desirable behavior and the punishment prevents undesirable behavior. This 2.0 motivation is effective for routine tasks, but if the task requires demanding and creative behavior, then 2.0 motivation can lead to underperformance or even immoral behavior. For example, maximizing the number of repairs in a garage to earn a financial bonus but neglecting customer satisfaction. Today, we live in a world where motivation 2.0 dominates. It is based on the assumption that if there is no reward or punishment, the person has no enthusiasm to accomplish a task and will try to escape his responsibilities. Why do you need to discover your motivation 3.0? By changing the assumption, if the person finds the action rewarding, they will do it voluntarily and without expecting a reward. This is motivation 3.0. We find this intrinsic motivation when the person has the power to dictate when they work, what they work on, and what they are responsible for. For example, we find this in people who volunteer to write articles for Wikipedia. How to achieve 3.0 motivation. To achieve 3.0 motivation, you must choose a creative field and have the inner drive to achieve perfection. You must feel passionate and committed to your goal. People with this 3.0 motivation accomplish their task with such a high degree of focus and passion that they forget about the world around them. But knowing that achieving perfection is imaginary, we should still strive to be ambitious and get closer to it. How to increase your 3.0 motivation. To increase this 3.0 motivation, engage in voluntary, unpaid activities. Don't look for money above all, but have a sense of what you are accomplishing. For example, a concrete contribution to society. The activity in question should be challenging enough to test your abilities without being too complicated or demotivating. Have the freedom to organize yourself as you wish. For example, choose the time slot in which you will perform the task. If you need to have a group of people with whom to complete the task, have the freedom to decide with whom you will collaborate. Finally, to increase a person's 3.0 motivation, you must give them spontaneous praise and constructive feedback to feed the pleasure of their task. Conclusion: rewards and punishments are effective, but in the long run they lead to harmful behaviors. Motivation 3.0 is the solution to increase long-term motivation. It is found in self-determination, striving for perfection, and achieving a meaningful goal in a given task. If you like the summary, click on one of our partner links to discover Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us by Daniel Pink in ebook, book, or audiobook format. And if you're not interested in reading further, we recommend you discover Own the Day, Own Your Life. Optimized Practices for Waking, Working, Learning, Eating, Training, Playing, Sleeping, and Sex by Aubrey Marcus. Introduction: How to Optimize Your Life. There are two obstacles that prevent you from becoming the best version of yourself: lack of energy and lack of time. Fortunately, there are easy-to-implement tips in your life to get rid of these two obstacles. In this book, you'll learn how to wake up better, how to better balance your blood sugar at breakfast, why is it important to take supplements, how can I be more productive after breakfast, how to better approach our sports practice, why is it good to have regular sex. Our answers to these questions are easy to understand, simple to implement, and quick to execute. Ready to optimize your life? Let's go.